Hi, I'm Rebecca and I'm an educator at Science East. Today, I thought we would use some technology to work on our creation and our problem solving skills. Before I do that though, I want to talk about a couple key terms so that we understand what we're talking about while we're making our creation. The first one is a pixel. So a pixel stands for picture element. It's any given point on a picture, and when you look at it as a whole, that's what creates the image. So all images are created of many, many pixels, and each pixel is a certain color. When you look at it from far away though, you don't see the individual pixels, you just see the image. The second one that we need to understand is a sprite. Now, if you've used Scratch, you're probably familiar with this term, and it's the 2D image that's part of your larger scene. So it's often the one that you're putting a code on to do an action. It could be a cat, it could be an apple, it could be a cloud, but it's the things that are doing the action in your video game, in your movie, in whatever you're creating. Now, when I say technology, people often think that we're going to learn coding or robotics or something similar, but that's often not the case. Technology teaches a wide variety of skills and is useful in a wide variety of careers. What we're doing today is actually part of the graphic design skill set, which could lead you to be a graphic designer, a marketing person, product developer, or an animator, which we'll see in our next tutorial. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen with you. And you're just going to Google Piskel, and it's the first one that usually pops up. I'm not signed in, so I'm just going to sign in. It's a free program, so you can just sign in with any email account that you have. And this is where it would store the Piskels that you create. Now, I don't have any in here because I haven't been saving them, but you're going to click Create Sprite. So remember, sprite again is that 2D image. So we're creating a 2D image that you then could use in other programs or print off the picture. Now on your left, you have your frames. In this tutorial, we're only using the one frame. And then you have a variety of tools over on the side. They're very similar to the paint program if you've used that. On your right, you have some tools that are for animation that you'll see in the next tutorial, and some tools for saving and exporting your creation. Now, when I put my mouse over this part, you see that it highlights little squares. These are the pixels. So in order to create an image, you need to color in several pixels in order to create a whole image. Now, this is a lot of pixels, so before we do anything, I'm going to click this button way over on the right. It's called Resize, and I'm going to change it to 12 pixels. It'll be 12 by 12, so it's still a square. I'll click Resize. And now you notice that our highlighted squares are bigger. So if we were to count them along the top, there would be 12, and down here there would be 12. The primary tool that you need is the color tool. So if I click this, I can drag and select any color that I like, and then I can drag the circle to change the shade of it. So I'm going to draw a flower, and so I'm going to go to green. I'll change it to that. I'm going to start with the stem. And so to color in a square, you just left click. There's my stem. Now I'm going to color in the middle. Let's make it a red middle. Now I just made a bigger middle, and now I've decided that I actually don't want it that big. And so to get rid of squares, I just right click. So I'm right clicking on these to get rid of them. And I'm back to just the one square for the middle, the one pixel for the middle, the one element of the picture. So to make my leaves, I think I want them to be a yellow. Now I sit back and I look at this, and this doesn't look like a flower. And so part of our problem solving skills is taking a moment, and instead of just deleting the flower, saying, oh, I can't do it, or giving up or getting frustrated, I have to ask myself, why does it not look like a flower? Well, one of the reasons why I think it doesn't look like a flower is because I have the petals too far down on the stem. So I'm just going to right click. I'm like, okay, that looks a little bit better. And so then I have to ask myself, what else can I do to make it look like petals? Well, maybe if the squares had some spaces between them, because petals in real life do. So what if I get rid of that one? That's looking more like a petal. And I get rid of that one, and it looks more like a petal. So I'm happy with this. Of course, we're working with squares, so it's not going to look completely realistic, but this looks closer to an image of a flower. I can make the petals longer if I like. I'm actually going to make them shorter again. So again, I just right click. Notice that as I'm creating my image, it's changing. I'm asking myself questions. Do I like this? No. What can I do to change it? I had a plan coming into this tutorial to make a flower. My plan has changed as I move along, so I was going to do long petals, but I didn't really like how that looked, so then I take them away. So it's okay for your plan to change as you go, as long as you stop and you ask yourself what you can do differently, what you don't like about it, and how to fix it. Over here on the side, we can click Save. You can save it to your gallery. That'll keep it on the Piskel app online, or you can go down here to Export. The first option is a GIF, which you'll see in a later tutorial for animations, or as a PNG. So this is what you want for the image. And you're going to download the single frame as a PNG file. So it went down here. Now I'm just going to switch which screen I am sharing with you so that you can see it. And there it is, there's my flower as a PNG, as an image. So I'm going to go back to Piskel. Now, sometimes your image might show up a little small. I have it scaled up. And so the first time you do this, I believe the scale stays down here somewhere. And so if I download it like that, notice how much smaller it is. And so the reason that my other image was so much bigger is because I had already went on Piskel and changed the scale of what I was saving for export. So you can scale it right up. So of course, there's other things you can do. You can add lots of other things, play around with the tools, see what you can create. Now the challenge that Science East has put out is to Piskel your quarantine. So you have to think of a symbol, something that represents your time in quarantine, and create something on Piskel like that. So that means that you're needing to plan your whole image and then think about which pixels you have to color what color in order to make the whole image. So I drew a flower because I have been working a lot on my gardening skills during quarantine. For other people, it might be a picture of family, could be a picture of pets, could be a picture of Netflix for anyone who's doing that during quarantine. So draw something on Piskel. You're going to use pixels, picture elements. You're going to create a sprite, a 2D object. You're going to use your creation and your problem solving skills. And then, most importantly, you're going to share your creations with us at Science East on our Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram accounts. See you next time for our next tutorial.